There are two types of men who say they're working on themselves. The first has read 200 books, finished 4 courses, has a Notion vault full of highlights and frameworks and systems. His reading list keeps growing. He's always in the middle of something new. The second has read 12 books, built something from each one. What separates them isn't access to information, it's what they did with it. There's a term in economics called dead capital. Dead capital is an asset you own but don't deploy, a property sitting empty, cash in a mattress. It technically belongs to you, but it generates nothing. It doesn't compound, it doesn't grow, it just sits there occupying space. Most men's knowledge is dead capital. The book you read and never applied, dead capital. The course you finished and didn't execute, dead capital. The framework you studied and never built with, dead capital. You don't own that knowledge. You're storing it. And here's what makes it worse. Your brain doesn't know the difference. When you consume content that promises transformation, your brain releases a small hit of dopamine, a preview of the result without the cost of earning it. That's why the man with 200 books highlights instead of acts. Why the man who's been preparing to start has been preparing for 3 years. His brain has been paid in previews. The actual work never had to happen. This isn't a motivation problem. It's a reward misfire. The consumption trap shows up in 3 forms. The first is the highlighter. He reads everything. His margins are full. He can tell you exactly what the author meant on page 147. But nothing in his life reflects what he read. He consumes for the feeling of understanding, not for the output that understanding was supposed to produce. The second is the researcher. He's always gathering one more piece of data before he starts. I need to understand this fully before I act. He's been researching for 2 years. He's not ready yet. He will never be ready, because readiness isn't a feeling you reach, it's a threshold you cross by moving. The third, and the most common, is the optimizer. He moves from system to system, looking for the perfect framework. He's not running his business, he's building the right foundation. He's not training, he's dialing in his protocol. He's not writing, he's finding his process. He's optimizing something that doesn't exist yet. Which one are you? The fix isn't to stop learning. The fix is to change the ratio. Right now, most men are running at 10-to-1 in the wrong direction. 10 hours of consumption for every 1 hour of output. That ratio needs to flip. 3 systems. The first is the 10-to-1 output rule. For every 10 hours you consume this week, podcasts, books, videos, articles, you need 1 full hour of production. Not planning your output, not thinking about it. An actual output, a page written, a product shipped, a conversation initiated, a session completed. If you can't name what you produced at the end of the week, you didn't learn, you collected. The second is the 24-hour application window. When you encounter a new concept, a principle, a technique, you have 24 hours to apply it in some form. Small is fine, imperfect is fine, but it has to move. The research on knowledge retention is clear. If you don't apply something within 24 hours, the odds of you ever applying it drop below 10%. The insight expires, and you go back to collecting. The third is the knowledge audit. Take the last 5 books, courses, or frameworks you consumed. For each one, name one specific thing you changed, built, or did differently as a result. Not something you planned to do. Something that now exists. If you can't name it, you didn't learn it. You stored it. That's dead capital, and dead capital doesn't build anything. The goal was never to know more. The goal was to build something. The man with 200 books and nothing to show for it isn't more prepared than the man who built something from 12. He's just more comfortable. Collecting feels like progress. It has the texture of work without the exposure of it. Real building is uncomfortable. It produces something that can be judged, something that can fail, something real. That discomfort is the signal you're in the right place. Stop preparing to start. Start with what you have. The knowledge you already own is enough to build the first thing, and the first thing teaches you more than 200 books ever will. This channel is for the men who build first and refine second. New system every week. Subscribe if you're done collecting and ready to build.